Hi, I'm Tom.
And I'm Molly.
Welcome to Forensic Gameology, hosted by MoonlightCrew.com.
Reviews for science.
In 7 minutes or less. One Night Ultimate Werewolf Daybreak. This is the expansion to One Night Ultimate Werewolf, and I think it comes with enough to play 3 to 7 players, but if you mix it in with the regular game, it goes up to 10. The game involves hidden roles, hidden identities in which you have different powers and different abilities. And so these will be dealt out randomly at the start of the game, and then 3 of them will be left in the center of the table face down, so that there's some just unknown, there's a lot of unknown here as to whether for instance, are there any werewolves in the game? Are there certain villagers that aren't in the game because they're in the center being unused? And the game boils down to a vote at the end of a round. Everyone's going to vote, and if a person who's a werewolf gets voted on to be killed, then the werewolves lose. If all the werewolves live, then the werewolves win, and thus the villagers win or lose opposite of those conditions. So each card, though, just does something totally different than the others and can change the game in drastic, crazy ways. Simplicity versus complexity.
Compared to the base game, a little bit more complex. You add a few things. For one, you add a village idiot, who seems hard. I've never been the village idiot, but I've had it played, and I didn't even realize that things were switched, so it's definitely doable. He switches everyone except itself to the right, 1 space, or to the left, so that's obviously more complex than just switching 2, like in the base. But as far as a standalone, is this a complex game? No. No, it's pretty simple once you get all the characters, but if you have the app, it tells you what to do in the middle of the night anyways.
I think there's a little complexity with the curator. The curator can put down one of these tokens randomly drawn face down onto anyone's card, including his own, and then it changes his role in some way. Can maybe make that person not speak, or it turns him into a werewolf, or it makes him into a villager. So there's just explaining all of the roles and then explaining all of these. Well, then you could be changed, and so I think there's a level of complexity, but this is a fun party game. It plays very quickly. I think it's simple and enjoyable. Luck versus strategy.
Oh, it depends on how good you are at bluffing. If you're very good, then it's all strategy. It's all how are you going to figure out who other people are while concealing your identity if you need to. I think it's all strategy. For me, we've talked about in some of the other videos, I'm not the best at these kind of games, hidden role games. And so sometimes I get some anxiety. So if I'm dealt a werewolf, sometimes I have a hard time convincing everyone that I'm not a werewolf. So in that sense, that's all luck in how that goes for the game. But I would say it's mostly strategy and what you do with your action that you have, and then what you do when you talk about it. Because that's what happens is you do all the night actions, and then you have a certain amount of minutes to discuss who you think you should kill. And so if you're good at those kind of games, then it's all strategy.
I think there's a large portion of luck in this game. You can, if I'm the alpha werewolf, and one of those 3 cards has a werewolf next to it, and I switch that out with Molly, and now she's a werewolf, she doesn't even know it. And that's just the luck of the draw. Whoever I give that to, or if the alpha werewolf is even dealt into the active players versus being one of the 3 inactive roles. So now she doesn't even know who she is, and she's trying to kill me, and I'm trying to be like, hey, Molly, don't kill me. We're werewolf buds. So I mean, it's super lucky. Because you'd be dealt the dream wolf, and whenever all the other wolves open their eyes to see who each other are, you don't. You just put out your thumb. They know who you are. You don't know who they are. You don't know who's on your side and who to kill. There's so much luck in this game, but that randomness really, as much as I think I would dislike randomness in most games, it really makes this game. There's strategy to be sure, because and I'm going to get to that in fun versus boring, because I think the strategy of this game is super fun. So fun versus boring, this game is super fun. Because it's all about getting information in this game. And that's why I think a lot of people dislike the Village Idiot for moving a card clockwise, or moving all cards clockwise or counterclockwise. I love it because you can get so much information from this card. If you for some reason can check your card or someone else's, and you know that they aren't what they started as, but they don't know that, then you can try to coax out of them, were you a werewolf? Who was the werewolf? Who did you see? And then whenever you get who they actually thought the werewolf is, well, now it's moved, and that person is a werewolf now, and they don't realize it. And so like the whole time they're trying to figure out who they are, you're trying to figure out who everyone else is, and that's just the village idiot. It has nothing to do with the paranormal investigator. You get to look at 2 cards, one at a time. If you look at a werewolf or a tanner, you become a werewolf or a tanner. And if not, you've just confirmed 2 village identities. Like there's so much going on in this game. The Apprentice Seer can look at 1 card of the unused. I think it's super fun. I think it's the strategy of the game, besides the randomness, the strategy of the game makes it super fun.
Fun versus boring is a little challenging for me because of the hidden role aspect of the game, but I do think it's fun. Especially this one, it just brings more chaos, even though I said it is a lot of strategy. It brings more chaos, and the more chaos you have, at least for the better I do in these games, and so the more fun I have. Because I can just be like, no, I'm not the werewolf, even if I am, and I can try to throw them off. Not the best at it, but I mean, I can try more in a chaotic game. So that's what this brings to the table, and I appreciate that in the game. BGG rating.
10 out of 10. I love this game. I think it's so fun. I play it all the time. Always suggest it.
I might give it a 7. 7 out of 10. Because I'll play it if suggested, and I always like having friends over and playing games, so it's a very social game. We've presented the evidence.
You be the judge.